Hello, and welcome back to the Boston Commune. This week's incredulous installment will again be broken into two parts, featuring commentary from Comrade Scott, Joe, Ellie, Chava, and myself. This episode is a little bit late because we did, in fact, attend the demo on Wednesday night. Biden is president now, and nothing is different. So please, do us a favor and share this content. Do yourself a favor and enjoy your epoch, your epoch, your epoch, your epoch.
This guy wants to fire minimum wage employees who have to work through a pandemic. That lifeguard would have to dive into a pool of COVID soup in order to save your clear-framed glasses-wearing piece of shit ass.
Chill, God.
Regional politics are really fucked in terms of like the people who end up like running governments, because like you end up with like incredibly toxic people like Paul LePage, who is not just toxic but kind of insane. He was like a proto-Trump in that regard. And then you got people like Bob DeLeo and Charlie Baker, who are just terrible but in different ways.
Who's the first person you mentioned? What was their name?
Paul LePage. He was governor of Maine.
I thought you said Paula Page, and I was like, who is Paula Page?
Yeah, he was the governor of Maine from like 2010 to 2018.
No, I know who he is now. And yeah, God.
That dude was nuts.
Uh-huh.
You thought it was Paula Page.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what he thinks is going to happen if
Me
the Democrats
too.
take over the White House. They're all going to convert men into women, and then he'll be Paula Page.
He actually said once to a reporter about, I forget what, but he was shouting at a reporter that the Democrats were sticking into the people without proper lubricant.
So it's likely that he believed what I just said. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
I love it. I love it. No, like the fucking meeting tonight was just, it was like this one woman on the board was just like, no, I don't want to hear anybody's like comments. Like you have a minute to speak if you're on the board, if you have something negative to say about this. And it's just like people in the chat were saying like, this is like fascism. Like, what are you talking? Like, you're not letting, like you represent the public and you're not letting the public speak. It was a disaster. It's like the worst, most unwelcoming fucking Zoom call I've ever been on in accordance to any organizing in East Boston. And it's fucking Richard Lynn, of course, who was fucking on it. Motherfucking piece of shit. Don't fucking put this in the episode, Jesse. Because I have to maintain some sort of a working relationship with these people, even though I hate them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they listen to the podcast.
You never know. I will forward Richard Lynn Esquire of Boston, Massachusetts, this episode. No, I won't. I don't care. He already knows I hate him, so whatever. So you wanted to get into the what about the Senate, Joe?
Well, Congress in general, because...
Laugh at me. Oh, what did we want to call news now? Like, what is happening or something?
Wasn't really paying that close attention.
Things are happening.
Things that are happening.
Fuck, I forgot to make a jingle for that.
I was only like responding to like the notification previews because I was like busy driving while I was at work.
Joe, don't text and drive.
I was just doing donuts in the parking lot. It's okay. Doing a continuous left-hand turn is not that difficult.
Doing donuts in the parking lot. It's the gateway drug, Joe. You know what that leads to, don't you?
No, this is like the work card. That's like...
Sooner or later, you'll be doing croissants.
Shit!
Then you'll move up to the biscottis, and then it just... When you get to that point, you've already started to lose control, so... I'm
trying to, like, accelerate the work car, like, breaking down to try to force them to deal with it.
Wait. Your car is given... Wait.
No, it's like the work car.
Please explain. Okay, so you get to work, and then they give you a car to drive around the fucking parking lot with?
No, it's like a car that I have to drive around, like, do my, like, patrols and whatever, like, my rounds. My rounds take me like all over the facility, and it's like 3 miles from one end of the complex to the other.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
What I do is basically just like, oh, is anything happening? No? Okay.
Is it all one building?
No, it's at least 6 or 7.
That's what I was... Okay, so it's like an industrial park. Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense.
I would say it's like an industrial park because it's the whole...
You just said one end is 3 miles from the other. That's a pretty big place, dude.
it's like a campus. It's not really like all like just a set of buildings because it's like there's a couple buildings here and then you have to drive down the access road a bit to get to the other buildings.
It's like UMass, Boston.
Yeah, it's like UMass, but like blood money.
So it's like UMass, pretty much.
Yeah, but you put it that way, yeah,
Okay.
more or less.
Do we refer to you as Janice now?
You can call me whatever you want, man. You just so call me late for dinner.
I knew you were going to say it anyway.
Janus.
That's no, yeah. You can totally, but you can only call me Janus if you call me Hugh Janus. The full thing
Hugh.
has to be the whole thing.
Hugh Janus.
Also, I'm on my phone, so if you feel like I'm not laughing at your shit, I'm probably laughing. You just can't hear me. I'm gonna push the laugh button.
Now
Like you
about huge Janus. There was a tweet from Live Science today that was first preserved dinosaur butthole is perfect and unique, paleontologists say.
That's beautiful.
A perfectly preserved butthole.
What kind
I'd
of
love to see
butthole
it.
y'all got?
I don't know what dinosaur butt it is, but
One day, I sent that I saw something called some meme that was like, "What kind of butthole y'all got?" And it was just a bunch of different buttholes. And for some reason, I like the vibe that day was only such that I felt comfortable sending it to Jesse. So I like DM'd it to Jesse. It's like, here you go.
Yeah, it's true. Anybody, pretty much on any day, if you have a spicy butthole meme, I'm your guy. Always a
Anyway.
safe bet.
I hope that is the part of me that is preserved if there is to be another Ice Age or,
like Pompeii.
Yeah, just my butthole. That's all you need.
I'm going out like that guy who was jacking off when he went out in Pompeii.
Hell yeah.
Is that like confirmed or is that just
No,
kinda
it honestly it looks like a guy that was in pain who like was in this like it just looked like he fell over and died in that like position.
Ecstasy and agony are the same. They're
We're just-
completely
we're making fun of
indistinguishable.
like a volcano victim? It's like, this guy was jerking off.
The
In
dinosaur.
reality, he was like choking on pyroclastic flow.
That's how I want to go, man. Come on.
The dinosaur whose butthole they preserved and they found and preserved is the first letter is P, but I think it's a silent P. It's a Psittacossaurus, which I've never heard of before. I don't know. It looks like a cool guy. Looks pretty cool. His name means parrot something. Means parrot lizard. It kind of does look like a parrot, but like a big lizard. God damn it.
Parrots are dinosaurs.
This is true. Jurassic World started with the crow's feet because they're like dinosaurs evolved into birds. Birds. Joe, do you want to begin with stuff that happened this week or whatever the fuck we're calling the news segment now?
Whatever the fuck. Yeah. There's basically what now? Basically there
What?
was I got it. I was like texting and trying to talk. Not important. Yeah, basically all of the news this week is bad.
What's her name?
That's just my mom.
I'm kidding.
Not important. Yeah, basically all of the news
It's his
is
mom.
bad this week. So COVID has gotten a lot worse. According to NPR, in just the past 5 weeks, over 100,000 Americans have died from COVID, bringing the current death toll to slightly over 400,000 nationwide. And
Number
so by
one,
the time we actually,
baby!
USA.
so by the time we publish this episode, more Americans will have died from COVID-19 than the number of Americans who died in World War II.
That's really fucked.
So that's how that front is going. In fact, the CDC said that they are anticipating for the 2020 statistics that average American life expectancy, they're expecting it to drop anywhere between 1 and 3 years. So worst case scenario, the average life expectancy for the United States, the average life expectancy for the average American for the year 2020 could be as low as 74
For men or women, or does it matter?
overall.
Overall. Oh, that is wow.
This is on top of the fact that average life expectancy in the United States has already dropped 3 of the last 5 years.
And sidebar for a second, I just want to make it clear that like people have this and they envision like colonial times or whatever where like everybody just lived till they were 30 and then they died. Like no, like people lived like average lengths. It's just like there was a lot of infant death and there's a lot of people who died of diseases in their like 20s and in their teens. It wasn't that people just didn't live past like it wasn't this thing like they would like become 35 and then just die. That wasn't the case. Like humans have always lived an average of about 80 years throughout history. Keep going, Joe.
I want to try to take a look how bad that would put us compared to other countries. Because I know the Cuban life expectancy before the pandemic was like 92.
9,000.
The Cuban life expectancy has not changed since the pandemic. They
It hasn't.
I think a total of 3,000 people died of COVID or something in Cuba. Tops. Maybe that's how many people, I don't know. It's probably how many people got COVID. Just looked this up. As of January 19th, 2021, 170 people have died of COVID total in Cuba.
So, like, honestly, 74, that would be pretty low. I mean, we'd be lower than Mexico.
One more day to pay for the wall.
Yeah, also, similarly bad news. The MBTA will be implementing service cuts effective this Saturday. All ferry service that's just going to be gone for the foreseeable future. The ferries are just going to be gone entirely. 5 of the 12 commuter rail lines the MBTA runs will be just completely cutting all weekend service. So the only lines that will be operating at all on the commuter rail on the weekends are Fairmount, Newburyport, Worcester, Providence, Middleborough, and Newbury Rockport. And that's it.
Still go to Salem.
So if you're trying to get from like Lowell to Boston or Haverhill to Boston, Franklin to
Going
Boston,
by car.
you're fucked. If you're trying to get from like Fitchburg, that's not happening.
You're getting up early in the morning and you're taking your car.
This is a good time to point out to you guys that I don't have a job and I have a car. If you need a ride somewhere, fucking let me
This is
know.
extended to the listener as well. No.
Yeah, if you can fucking figure out how to get a hold of me, I legitimately will give you a ride.
Actually, come to think of it, you're not entirely fucked if you're trying to get from Haverhill to Boston by train, because there's like 4 round-trip options for the weekend via Amtrak from like Haverhill to Boston. But like if you're trying to get from like Boston to like Ballardville, you're kind of shit out of luck.
Yep.
I mainly remember that because I see the Amtrak going from like Boston to Haverhill pass by where I work, like every shift I work.
It's a good thing we have Pete Buttigieg in charge of transportation.
Yeah, I know. That's what I.
There's 2 sides to that coin, because like you got Joe Biden, who's famed Amtrak rider, and then you got Pete Buttigieg, famed
Terrible mayor.
linguistics
Dale son.
Famed gay.
guy. So it's good for
Famously did a terrible job running a town smaller than Fargo, North Dakota.
It's good for the private sector, bad for the public sector.
Well, speaking of Joe Biden and trains, I will always find it hilarious that his explanation for why he got his son Hunter a job on the board of Amtrak was like he likes trains.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, if you don't like trains, I worry about you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like one of those gotcha questions when like you have to explain, like when you go to a Starbucks interview, you got to explain why you want to work at Starbucks, but you're not allowed to say like,
I like coffee.
Yeah.
I like sexual harassment.
Yeah, but no. As a person who works at Starbucks, I can speak from experience. They do ask you if you like coffee during your fucking job interview.
no, not me. They didn't ask me, but I think that's because they knew as soon as they see me, they were like, this kid's not fucking working here.
Yeah, and I kind of had it in. So.
Yeah, nope. Evil Empire. My mom and my sister used to jokingly refer to Starbucks as Evil Empire. And like, my mom had a little thing of gum, like a little tin of Starbucks gum. And I think she wrote Evil Empire on it. And yet, she continues to drink things from Starbucks and buy me Starbucks gift cards because that shit is crack. I cannot give it up. I cannot give up Starbucks. It's incredible.
We put too much sugar in everything.
Give it up.
I apologize.
If you don't give up the Starbucks and Joe doesn't give up the parking lot donuts, you guys you're headed for some big trouble. You're gonna end up like me, fat with a
That's all right.
mustache.
That's what I want to be, Jesse. By the time that I die jerking off in a volcano, I would like to be fat and with a mustache.
By the time that you turn almost 29, you'll be just like me.
Yes, by the time I go back in time 4 years and almost turn 29.
So you got
but
that.
wait though.
Just doxed your own age.
So Joe, was the verbatim reason was those 3 words? He likes trains. Is that what it was?
That's the exact quote.
That's incredible.
That was literally his answer. He likes trains.
Honestly, I kind of love Joe Biden. Like, that's adorable.
He's very pure. He's very based.
I don't think he should be president. It's the same thing with Trump. Like, for the crimes that he's committed, he should be in jail. But just let him tweet. Just let him have a public hour, like, every day. And just adorable things will just pour out of his mouth.
Absolutely.
It'll make no sense, but we will love it.
Just confine him to Truman Show him. Just confine him to a space where he can't exit or influence anything outside of it, and put cameras on him and just see what happens.
Fucking Ed TV with Biden.
Honestly, that's the one thing I'm going to miss about Trump, and it confuses all the liberals I say this in front of. I'm going to miss him because he's fucking funny as shit.
I was watching the video of when he hissed in front of the press earlier today. He just did some weird shit.
My favorite is that
tomorrow.
One of my favorites is that soundbite of him from October talking about he's the Marxists, the anarchists, the looters, the agitators, and the people who in many instances have no idea what they're doing. That was instantly memeable.
That's just poetic, man. That's just
He's altered the way we all speak.
the Marxists,
Yeah.
the liberals, the looters, the people,
The postmodernists, the capitalists.
We love to see it.
the rectangles, the squares, the infinity
landlords.
signs.
The businessmen, the beautiful powders. We love them. Just trying to think of the alternative.
Rhombus. Beautiful rhombus. Most excellent ellipse.
If anyone ever calls me a beautiful rhombus, I will be in love with you instantly.
The way he points at things with his pinky.
Parallelogram. One of the greatest inventions of China. China.
We gotta stop this steal, guys. We gotta keep him president.
we can't let them put him away. Don't put him away.
Will Joe Biden even notice if that happened? He doesn't even seem to consistently understand what decade it is.
Wait,
So,
if Trump doesn't?
Yeah,
No,
will Biden even really notice?
No, Biden doesn't give a fuck. It's more.
Will
It's
he cognitively notice?
I don't
He doesn't
know.
seem-
None of us can answer that question, sir.
Yeah, we can't read his mind. We can't being John Malkovich him.
I can tell you that
I
he
would do
probably
that,
isn't
though.
going to give a shit if Trump goes to jail or not. But Kamala Harris will probably feign some interest in trying to get Trump in jail, but then they'll be like, "Oh, I got gummed up in the works" or whatever, some shit, or she'll make some call for unity, and then that'll be it.
All right,
mean,
so
I'm gonna be a narc about pronouncing her name, even though she's horrible. She's horrible, but
Oh,
please
did
pronounce her name.
Alright, sorry.
It's okay. No, I mean, none of us. The only reason that I know that exactly. There you
Okay.
go.
We got Randy here to set it right for me.
Yeah,
is it Kamala?
it's Kamala. In South Asian names tend to put the
Yeah.
emphasis on the first syllable. So Kamala. Yeah,
I like
Kamala.
Kamala because it sounds like it's a Massachusetts thing.
Kamala is the herb that President Laura Roslin takes for her cancer.
Hey, fucking Kamala
Battlestar
over here.
Galactica.
Hey,
Makes
Hold on a
me
second,
fresh.
wait.
Because pronouncing it wrong is one thing, but for almost the entire Democratic primary, my grandmother genuinely thought her name was Pamela.
That's beautiful.
It was a
Yeah.
funny
Pamela!
fucking thing.
We got
Kamala.
Truman show your grandma too.
When Harris dropped out of the race, I got a text from her while I was at work, and it said Pamela is toast, and I knew exactly what that meant, and it was a funny
my
fucking
God.
Just as a bit, that's amazing.
That's such a meme. We have to meme that.
thing.
Pamela is toast.
No, Pamela is toast.
That's
I
what
know,
said.
that's fucking hilarious.
Oh,
why-
Pamela.
Pamela Janus.
She's no relative of mine, sir.
I do. Okay, so I don't know what happened today. I got part of the way through reading Mao's On Practice. I was trying to narrate the whole thing, but I stopped because I started helping Carlene put up these fucking programmable LED lights, and my
Oh,
phone
hell yes.
I can't connect to it. I don't know what the fuck happened with my phone, but I can't connect to it. And the lithium battery got stuck in the remote, and then I took the front off, and then the motherboard was all scratched up and parts of it were melted. So I fucking, it's just kind of a garbage. Well, anyway, so basically that's my excuse. I didn't put together a Rabid Radley.
I still actually have
this evening.
news.
Oh, the rabbit
But hold on.
Jesse has something to say, though.
This is actually kind of what I was going to talk about in terms of the very tepid response of the Democratic Party to this whole, basically to everything. And a lot of the time on this show, I in particular will say, the parties are the same. And I say that a lot. I say that the parties are essentially the same. The only things that separate them are God and guns. And what I really mean by that is whether or not they virtue signal to the same people, they effectively end up enacting the same policy. And it's not because they both write the same legislation, but because the Democratic Party always falls. It's like the Charlie Brown comic with the going to kick the football again. Like, and I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's unwitting, but it seems like it's an ideological thing where the establishment Democrats revere the formal processes of the government that the Republican Party no longer has any interest in complying with or abiding by. And the Democrats, for whatever reason, put this expectation upon themselves. It's like they're acting as if what the public is most interested in is this legislative process and the sanctity of the American politic. And as a result, unless there's
really what we got to save is the process.
Well, I mean, seriously, like that's
I know. There are people like that.
I mean, of course they're going to impeach Trump fucking like a day before he's going to be ejected from office no matter what. The only time that they're going to get anything fucking done is when all of the Republicans hop on board, because the Democrats always cede all of their ground to the Republican Party, pretending like they're both playing the same game. And it's like the Republican Party's not, they're not playing the same fucking game. You know what I mean? They write the rules. It's like you can cheat too. You know what I mean? If you were actually interested in wielding power, because I mean, we have all this talk about how elections are so fucking important. And if we just had a majority in the Senate, if we just had a majority in the House, now we have effectively control of all three branches. I mean, it's in the Senate, it's half and half, but
we'll get to after you're finished, but it's a little bit more murky than that, but continue.
It's the same in the Massachusetts House. Doesn't matter if the Democrats have like a majority in numbers or even in soft power, even in amongst like the populace. If the majority of people in the country are in favor of the policies being put forth by the Democratic Party, unless a majority of the Republican Party is also on board, it's not going to go through. And that's a choice that the Democratic Party has been making year after year. And it's the same fucking people year after year. Wow, I just got a very delayed message.
No, you're right.
And see, you can totally expand upon things without having written something down. The thing that this makes me think of is like, there's this clinging by the Democratic Party to like, no, we gotta follow the rules, and everyone follow the rules to win. And like, sometimes that works, but yeah, I mean, like, the thing it actually makes me think of the most, sorry about always telling stories from my own life, but
no, we love it. That's what we're here for.
So I dance. I dance sometimes. I haven't done it in a while because obviously COVID fucked over our whole company. We couldn't really do very many things, but I had an instructor who, I actually love her. She's kind of one of the best people I've ever met, but you know, like everyone, she has foibles. She has little foibles, and one of them is a tendency to kind of like decide that this is how it's gonna be. It has to be this way. These are the rules. This is her style of choreography is the inverse of like the guy from Black Swan who's like, lose yourself. She's not like that. She's
Vincent Cassel.
Yeah, she's not Vincent Cassel. She's inverse Vincent Cassel. She's kind of like, here's exactly the way to move your body at every second of this choreography. And to be fair, when she does that and everyone does it well, the result is fucking breathtaking. And someday I'll show you guys a video of that, an example of something she choreographed that I was in. But I mean, yeah, it's fucking breathtaking. It's generally worth it. But I think for her, it's so anxiety provoking that like, I don't remember which performance it was. We usually do 2 per season. Right before the curtain was supposed to go up on this number that I was in, we were all on stage. We were all in our poses. We were all getting ready. And she was running around just trying to make the most of every last second to like sort of correct and perfect our poses and the angles that our elbows were at and stuff like that to make sure that it was all just right. And she waited so long to get off stage so that the curtain's gonna open, and she she knew she couldn't even, it's all set. Like, she couldn't tell the person to leave the curtain down. It was going to happen. She stayed as long as she fucking could. And one of the only rules of using that theater space was don't touch or kick the barriers at the back of the stage, which were these like barriers that were about, foot high or something, that separated the dancing space from where the lights were. And there was like a lot of fancy ass, very expensive lighting equipment back there, and that was part of the reason we had the barriers. So, you weren't supposed to go back there, you weren't supposed to even, like, touch the barriers if you could. But anyway, so my instructor decided to spend so much time on stage. Like, I think she started leaving as the curtain was lifting off the floor, and she had to bolt off the stage so fast and so recklessly that she actually tripped over the barriers, one of the barriers at the back. I hope she didn't hurt herself. It made a pretty loud noise, but the point was, like, she broke her own rule. She was so, like, attached to things being the way that they were, quote, supposed to be, which again, in this circumstance, not really inherently evil or anything. She was just, like, very attached to it, and it led her to break her own rule. And sometimes that looks like losing control of your country because the other party knows that the barriers are just, or knows that it's not actually that important for my three's elbow to be at exactly 30 degrees or whatever.
Strangely enough, that is exactly what On Practice and On Contradiction are both trying to convey, which is sticking with dogmatism ends up ultimately pushing you away from the result that dogmatism was established to achieve.
Yes, it's like the opposite of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It is what is it? It's a perfection is a, there's some similar, perfection is
the enemy of the good.
Yeah, that's one of it. That's one of those things. It's like, so perfection is the enemy of good, but there's also a phrase that's like, perfection is a self... Fuck! I'll figure it out. But you get the idea.
We get the idea, for sure. The idea is understood.
That's a Black Swan thing. It's from Black Swan. Or it's from, like, some essay I read that was about Black Swan. So.
Anyways.
Perfectionism is self-destruction.
That's pretty close. I mean, yeah, you can't be perfect.
That's something that Google just filled in for me, so...
Yeah, I mean, if you try to be perfect and you don't realize that that's impossible, you'll destroy yourself in the process. Just like in Black Swan, spoilers!
Well, and we saw how that played out with the typical bargaining process that Nancy Pelosi would normally employ, trying to do that with the COVID relief package. She basically threw out the stimulus that we would have gotten because instead of thinking about the people that she was once elected to help and has continued to remain in that position through, her power in the institution that is the Democratic Party, she ended up fucking over all of her constituents because she was so committed to making Donald Trump look like an asshole. She ended up making herself look like an asshole.
Yeah.
It's
about the size of it.
Joe, do you want to talk about the dynamic in the Senate, how fucked we are now?
It's also the House, because Democrats only have a majority of 5 right now in the House. And
that's like the squad.
Yeah, basically. Actually, the squad has enough votes to...
That's all you need.
The squad is large enough that they could tank anything if they wanted to. So, like...
Those are all wild forms of cope.
But the Senate is the situation in the Senate is a lot more murky than people think it is. Like, 50-50 split with it's not that simple, actually. Because, yes, Chuck Schumer will finally achieve his singular goal in life tomorrow afternoon when he becomes the Senate Majority Leader.
I'm getting pissed now.
Like, formally, he's the Majority Leader, but it's a lot more up in the air than that in all reality, because the 3 new Democratic senators will be sworn in. Kelly of Arizona, Padilla of California, who's replacing Harris, and then I think it's Warnock. Actually, no, Ossoff is the one being sworn in on Wednesday, because Warnock's already been sworn into the Senate. They haven't been given committee assignments yet, and so the committee ratios haven't been determined because it's a 50-50 split. And so until those get hashed out and until McConnell and Schumer can come to a power sharing agreement, the Senate can't actually do anything really, because to do anything for the most part would require unanimous consent, like all 100 senators being on board with doing X. you have a situation where like technically Republicans will still have the majority in some of the committees because the new senators from the Democratic side haven't been put on those committees yet.
Well, and also when something is not clear cut where it falls on the Democrat versus Republican Party line, inevitably it will be the Democrats that cross over. The only exception to
Always happens because the Democrats cave on everything.
Right, but I mean, there are some things, like the only time you're going to see a Republican navigate to the other side somewhat, when it does happen, it's like Rand Paul will agree with some libertarian proposal. That's about it. I mean, otherwise it's going to be your Chris Coons, your fucking...
It's really boring. Like half the Democrats will just like cross over and be like, you know what? We're fine with like letting the pharmaceutical company continue to roll over people like they did in January 2017.
Right. If the ideology underneath it is one of capitalism or one of entrepreneurship or equal opportunity, at least on its face, then like it doesn't really matter how bad it'll fuck working people over. It's something that Democrats, at least in quote-unquote blue dog states, will claim that they need to defend ideologically, even if it's coming from the other side.
In January 2017, they were just starting up the ACA repeal effort. And so Bernie Sanders puts up an amendment on the floor of the Senate proposing to allow the U.S. to import cheap generic prescription drugs to cut down the price of drug prices. And 13 Democrats crossed the aisle to oppose this amendment. 13 Republicans actually crossed the aisle in the other direction to support the Sanders amendment. So you get like Republicans like Ted Cruz and like, what's the guy from Utah?
Utah man.
Mike Lee of Utah. Insanely far right, like libertarians, siding with Bernie Sanders on one side. And then you have Democrats like Cory Booker and Bob Menendez.
Yeah, dude, it's like horseshoe theory. It's horseshoe theory, and
you get all these Democrats crossing the other
bourgeois
direction.
parties, and they serve capital. So,
and the thing fails 52-47, even though 13 Republicans cross the aisle, because you get all these Democrats who are beholden to the pharma industry, being like, "Nope, sorry, we know where our bread is buttered."
Whoo, and now he's the head of the country, Mr. Biden, my president.
And
gonna kick my face in and not even know it's happening.
I really want a 70s TV theme about but
so in order for the Senate to actually get anything done and for them to like actually like iron out like the process
about a coal mine
of like the power sharing, Schumer and McConnell are negotiating like, this agreement. And like one of the big things McConnell wants is like part of this agreement is like a guarantee that the legislative filibuster won't be nuked. That's like the thing they want because they understand that like they need that to be able to prevent anything from happening.
Right. That's
the thing McConnell wants. And it seems by all indications that Schumer's probably going to give it to him.
It's another thing that means the majority in the Senate doesn't mean shit because we still have this fucking Jim Crow era Senate relic just rotting away at this fucking wonderful institution.
So you know what's the funny thing about the filibuster? The filibuster was actually a legislative accident in the 1830s. It wasn't even about Jim Crow. It was like literally a clerical error that then became weaponized for the sake of advancing Jim Crow politics a century later. Fun fact.
Who was the president at that time?
I want to say Jackson. Andrew Jackson was president when it...
That makes sense.
It's either Jackson or John Quincy Adams.
Joe, do you think when they swear in Kamala tomorrow that her suit is just going to turn into like a cop suit? Like she's just going to be in like a police uniform? I think that's gonna she's
gonna like rip her jacket open and
like she'll take her hand off the Bible and be like, "Excuse me," and then just rip her shirt open, and then it's just like
out of she's land on her head.
Her hair just somehow produces a cob hat, and then she has like in scary.
Excuse me, Justice Roberts. I know I know that we just finished this whole swearing-in process, but I need to go oppress some people. I need to go deny trans people healthcare rights.
And then do you think she's going to shoot Joe Biden in the head?
What, like go like all like Westworld season 1, just like blowing Anthony Hopkins' brains out?
Well, I mean, Anthony Hopkins wanted that to happen, but like not.
She could do her like her like thank you speech through a walkie-talkie.
To be the Manchurian candidate in real life.
Just do it through a Nextel phone. Click, click. Thank you for everything. I need to go, like, annoy some people now.
You know,
The most terrifying thing about Harris being vice president is that we have to put up with the K-Hive for another 4 years, and those people are terrifying.
bitch didn't even win a single fucking inning. She's dropped out before the primaries.
You know why? She was polling at 4% among black people in December 2019 when she dropped out.
Yeah,
4%.
she did really bad in California, too.
Like, actually, she didn't make it to California.
What do you mean she didn't make it to California?
Like, she dropped out of the primary before Iowa.
Oh, I thought you meant physically.
Stephen King's The Walk, and she didn't make it. Or, well, Richard, never mind.
Close enough.
Like in the same way that like Hillary Clinton got pneumonia and couldn't make it to.
Yeah, that did happen. I remember that when she was like,
Yeah.
she had a stroke.
That was the moment that I knew that she was fucked.
Well, I mean, the second Trump won the Republican nomination, I think everyone knew like something's up, something's bad.
Like when she fainted at that 9/11 thing, that was the moment that I knew, like beyond doubt, that like, yeah, this isn't gonna happen.
Will you shut up, man?
Yeah, that was like especially. I remember because at that time I was still sort of like.
Yeah.
Still into the more libertarian-esque online culture. And, like, at least for that part of the internet, that was the moment where they were like, oh, she's done. She's physically broken apart.
I actually remember exactly where I was when I heard the news that she collapsed. I was in my, like, MAGA friend's dorm room, and I got, like, a notification, I think, from Politico. I instantly, like, fuck, the Dems are cooked.
You were like, oh,
The Dems are cooked, boys!
They're sizzling. Can you
Ah,
smell
fuck.
what the Dems is cooking? It's themselves.
What are their like phrases? Like, cooked?
Like, they're fucked.
They're toast, just like Pamela.
They're slow.
Would you look at this?
broiled.
Gee, they're cooked.
They're sauteed with garlic and onion.
But yeah, like,
You are like a fucking. You're amazing, Joe.
you know, the one reason that I would like have even like a little bit of hope is that two reasons. Well, one is kind of like a sub reason, but one is that Bernie Sanders is now going to be, as of tomorrow, the chairman of the budget committee, which is actually low key very powerful. It's not as interesting as like House Ways and Means, but it has a much more low profile committee, but is very powerful because it controls where all the money goes. And the chairman of the budget committee can prevent the budget from actually getting to the floor of the Senate if the chairman is like, I don't like the language in the bill as written. So like, if he has a problem with like military spending, it's like, oh, it's too much. Like he can just stop it from happening.
I have a prediction.
Also, the reason why
Yes.
it's not as toothless as it seems is that the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, the committee that decides whether or not to actually fund the budget, is the other senator from Vermont. And I think it's safe to say it would be very hard politically for Pat Leahy to be like, no, fuck Bernie's budget. Seeing the fact that like Bernie's like practically the most popular guy in Vermont.
Dude, being the most popular guy in Vermont,
Politically speaking.
I mean, realistically, really doesn't
That's
mean
pretty cool,
shit.
though.
There's like not very many people in Vermont.
It's like being a cult leader.
The point I was making is that like it would become a massive political headache if Bernie was like, Pat Leahy's holding up the budget that I proposed.
Bernie Sanders.
There's a not zero chance because the two budget committee chairmen are both in favor of Medicare for all.
All right, so I'm gonna finish my prediction. My prediction is that Bernie will not do what the Bernie stands are expecting him to do because they have been saying for months, or really years now. They've been saying for years that like, oh, if Bernie was in a position of power, you know, like won't be able to like hide his power level anymore.
Over 9,000.
The other reason though why I'm like
It's over
not
9,000.
entirely hopeless that I forgot to get to is budget reconciliation. You only need 51 votes under budget reconciliation to get something through the Senate. That's actually how they passed Obamacare, but they bullshitted about the filibuster. Like, oh, we're passing it through budget reconciliation, but we want the 60 votes anyways. That's why we can't do the public option. They could pass shit like on reconciliation.
Can you explain that process a little bit?
So the way budget reconciliation works is it's effectively you're like changing the way like the budget works and like how like tax laws and regulation are like being conformed to fit the legislation that's being pushed through the vehicle of budget reconciliation. And so basically you could do this with any major legislation that affects the budget or the deficit. And okay, we're pushing this through. We only need a simple majority because of this rule that was passed in the 70s, but it's a little bit too wonky to get into. I'm going to actually pull up the actual definition so it's not as confusing.
Is it like kind of a stress test?
A little bit.
Governments sound complicated.
Government's so confusing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
This is why we need worker councils.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Obamacare. My whole thing is yeah, but how did Obamacare fare under a Republican?
Budget reconciliation.
In a blizzard.
Yeah, but how did Obamacare fare in a blizzard?
Answer the fucking question.
I actually saw Amy
Jesse.
Klobuchar on
Thank
TV last night, and I just started laughing because I just can't take her seriously anymore. I can't
I
even
know,
look
right?
without laughing.
I
Because every
feel
time
like-
I look at her now, it's like she looks like she's about to throw something at an intern.
No,
Yeah.
really, government is complicated, and how did Obamacare fare under a Republican administration? They fucking almost killed it. So,
Well,
I
that's
don't
also
know.
because the Supreme Court hacked away a lot
And
of
the
it in
Supreme Court
2012.
is even more conservative now. I don't know.
Actually, exactly what you're talking about was
So-
the manner in which the Republicans attempted to tear it apart because it was unconstitutional
The thing that I think that really killed it
on
was
the
in
basis of
2012.
taxation. That was what they said.
The thing that I think killed Obamacare ultimately was in 2012 when liberals made the backroom compromise to sacrifice the Medicaid expansion for the sake of trying to save the mandate, which is the most fucking pointless thing in the first place, because the mandate was useless. It was always useless because it's completely unnecessary to force people to buy insurance at the punishment of a tax penalty, because most people feel that they need insurance. So they get insurance. They don't need to be at the business end of a tax penalty to behoove them to do this. So it was always a pointless thing. But for whatever reason, liberals were like, okay, we must save the individual mandate. So we'll be willing to compromise with conservatives on the court and sacrifice the Medicaid expansion so we can save the mandate that's just going to get repealed in a tax cut 5 years later.
Did you say behoove?
Behooved.
Behooved.
Compelled.
Behooved. I'm sorry.
But to get back to Jesse's question, I have the actual definition of what budget reconciliation is.
I have the actual definition of behooved.
It's a process established in the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 by which Congress changes existing law to conform tax and spending levels to the levels set in a budget resolution. Changes recommended by the committees pursuant to reconciliation instructions are incorporated into a reconciliation measure.
Oh, so it's more of a balancing than it is a stress test, it sounds like.
Yeah. And so so long as you don't add too much to the deficit, you can just do whatever the fuck you want with reconciliation. And you only need a simple majority to get it through the Senate instead of the 60 votes, which is how they got Obamacare through, which is how they tried to pass the Obamacare repeal in 2017. It's how I'm pretty sure that's how they got the Trump tax got through with reconciliation.
We just need to blow this whole shit up and start over. It's just fucking horrible. We have slave plantation politics. This sucks.
We really do.
Maybe Elon Musk.
I agree.
Maybe we just need to go to Mars.
This is what happens when you run a country or a society and have it governed by
Live in a society.
a 237-year-old piece of parchment.
I'm just imagining
Parchment.
a giant piece of parchment with
Yeah.
eyeballs.
Full on
Yep.
personified
Yep.
piece of paper.
Like in Schoolhouse Rock. Yep.
The French have rewritten their constitution 5 times since the revolution in 1798.
Yeah.
Since the French Revolution, the Constitution has been written 5 times.
I already did a segment on how bunk the Constitution is. Maybe not the whole thing, but at least
Some
the
fucking
foundation
bullshit.
for it.
This is how
Old
you
piece
get
of
to this
paper gives me
situation.
paper cuts. I don't like it.
Parchment is made out of skin or something. Right?
What?
Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah.
That's true.
See, there you go. That's the whole problem. It's cursed. It's written on skin. Can't use skin.
Hold on, let me look this up. I'm going to look it up.
I don't know. I'm talking out my ass. I'm talking out of my perfect, unique butthole.
Celluloid-based paper.
Maybe it's made out of plants. Then.
Holy fuck. No,
It-
you're right. Parchment
Is-
was originally made of goat skin.
Oh, there you go.
So not humans. Okay.
That's your whole problem. You cursed
We're
everybody
sheepskin.
because goats are the best. Sheep go to heaven, and now goats go to hell.
Goats
And-
go.
And now, yeah, God, I gotta get back into listening to Cake. They're just like the
Fuck
best
yes.
band ever. I was obsessed with that song when I was 15. I was playing it like over and over and over and over.
I went down a Cake little memory hole a couple months ago, and I listened to all their albums again. It's awesome.
There's so many, and they're all so good.
You know, I just looked it up, and I was talking about this at the beginning of the pod, but like if our average life expectancy does drop to 74, that would put us like neck and neck with like the West Bank and Gaza.
Wouldn't that be a beautiful little irony there?
We'd actually
Well, I
have
mean-
we'd have a lower life expectancy than Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Bulgaria, Armenia, Latvia, Brazil, Serbia, Hungary, Morocco, Iran, Tunisia, Argentina, Algeria, China, among others.
That's what happens.
Where's
when
Russia?
You fucking idolize Israel. If you think Israel is so cool, try being the people that they oppress every day and don't talk about it.
I'm looking at the UN's numbers now for Russia. Where is this? It's a bit lower down the poll.
And by the way, the treatment of Palestinians is so fucking well hidden that I didn't find out about it until I read Conflict is Not Abuse by Sarah Schulman, which you should all read. It's great. And that book talks about all sorts of other stuff, like conflict and oppression in intimate relationships and like AIDS, and it talks about lesbians and I forget. It's a good book. You should read it.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to read the little excerpt that Korpse posted about instead of lyrics.
What thread did I post that in?
Show notes?
The Joe chat.
The Joe chat.
Russia, we would be basically neck and neck in Russia because Russia is at 73. They're at
Gotta beat them on something. The Empire always has to beat Russia. And then,
Syria, which is still a war zone, has an average life expectancy of like 72.
What's their secret? Is it God?
As of 2018, the Syrian Arab Republic's average life expectancy is 72 years.
Here are the lyrics. Well, allegedly.
Hell yeah.
Here are the lyrics for the song Retaliation by Korpse, which is a brutal death metal band from North Holland. Lyrics: unintelligible gibberish about Mohammed Abu Qadir, a 16-year-old boy who lived in Palestine. He was captured by Israeli extremists who wanted to retaliate the murder of 3 Israeli children. Keep in mind probably English is not their first language. They took him to the Jerusalem forest, bound him up, and repeatedly beat him with a crowbar on his head. They then forced the boy to swallow gasoline and drenched him in it. They lit him up, burning him to death, giving another swing to the endless cycle of violence in Israel.
Yeah, that shit happens. Legit.
Yep.
So this is just what the song was about?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh my.
there might not even be actual lyrics, because, like, it just sounds like...
So wait, the kid was Palestinian, did you say?
Yes, it was a Palestinian kid.
Yeah.
Alright, Joe.
Yes.
Got any more stories on the go?
No.
Oh no. He said no.
Oh no.
Oh,
Keep the
no.
rhyme- Keep
My
the rhyme
big
going.
toe.
No.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know, we're replacing one dangerous moron with a different
How do
dangerous
you
moron
feel?
tomorrow.
Exactly. That's what I was going to ask. How do you feel? Tomorrow we're going to wake up and it's going to feel the same. It's going to feel dark, and then they're going to inaugurate him, and the sun's going to come out.
We're going to wake up and everyone's going to be trans.
Yep.
What about me? I'm already trans.
Trans liberal communist
Will I be
Marxist.
cis? Oh wait, I'm also cis. Sorry, I'm covered. I'm both trans and cis at the same time. This doesn't apply to me. What about you guys? You'll all be trans.
You're still human.
I'm going to wake up gay.
Waking up gay.
Wake up asexual, yeah.
There you go. Oh, well, that's fine.
How
I was
you
gonna be
gonna
like-
wake up dead? Sorry, I think that was from Scary Movie.
It sounds, yeah, it's real.
Yeah, my feelings was like, yeah, like basically
Mr. Joe Biden.
nothing's really going to change.
Mr. Joey B.
Yep.
Oh no, don't do that.
Joe,
Mr. Joe.
you'll always be the Joey B in my heart.
Don't ever use the word smart with me.
Don't ever use the word Joe with me.
Don't ever
Let's do
use
that.
the word Joe with me.
I
It
think
does
that-
hurt that we have the same initials. It hurts.
Yeah, that really
What's
sucks.
your middle name?
Well, I'm just talking about like first and last name.
What's your middle name, though?
Are we
I asked
doxing
you.
Joe? We're doxing Joe.
I'll bleep it. I'll
What
bleep
does
it.
your middle name start with? Jesus.
An L.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
is
I
it
mean,
like
it's already in your
your
Twitter handle.
Yeah,
Jilf?
I'm very observant, as you can tell.
JLFB, Joe Lumpen Proletariat.
Close enough.
Lumpen proletariat last name. Okay, yeah.
Sometimes, like, the pharmacist at Walgreens last week, I was filling my prescription. She got my last name wrong, like the spelling. She's like, "Oh, is it Burnes?" And I was like, "No, like the Simpsons character."
Boorns. I was saying Boorns.
Are you a Mr. Benes?
I was saying Burns.
Okay, Mr. Burns, what's your first name?
I don't know.
No.
Great plan, Bart.
Bernaise sounds like some kind of a salad dressing, doesn't it?
It's a sauce. It's one of like the 4 mother sauces or some shit like that. I don't know.
I feel like the E in that would have been silent.
Wait, Joe's last name is Bernay?
Bernay.
Joe Bernay, that's your name on the show.
Oh boy.
So I didn't know.
Joe Bernay Ramsey.
Hugh Janus and Joe Benet.
That's us. What about you, Scott? Scott, I always think of you
Hugh
as King
Janus
Arthur.
and Joe Benet.
Hail King Arthur.
Joe
Long live the king.
Lumpen Proletariat.
How would you spell that?
We have fun. What? How do you spell lumpen, and then how do you spell proletariat? Is how you spell it, obviously.
I was asking about the proletariat.
Ask- How do you spell proletariat? There it is, exactly.
Lumpen. You need an umlaut.
Yeah, it's like...
Lumpen Proletariat.
Oh, now I see it. Wow, we really have to
It's
send
like
it into like a
Lumpen
Monty Python
Frols.
sketch.
We have fun, folks. And Joe, he doesn't appreciate... No, we're kidding. We can't. We love him. We love him. He's
We
part
have
of the
fun,
he's
and Joe.
fucking proletariat, Joe. Doing
We have
donuts
fun,
around the
and Joe.
parking lot. Running over birds, doing whatever the fuck he
Oh,
wants.
you know what? Fun story that I forgot to mention in the bat signal last week. The best thing I ever did with Ezra was we spun donuts in my friend's parking lot, and it had just snowed, and it was magical. And I'm pretty sure that's why he will always be in my brain or my heart or wherever.
Oh, I was just chilling here, and then all of a sudden Carlene comes in the room, turns the light on, and she just brings in 2 fucking pizzas.
God bless you,
Let's
Carlene.
go.
I just ate a bunch of Taco Bell. It is a beautiful night. Beautiful night, guys, gals, non-binary pals. 2 pizzas for Jesse.
Oh, yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right.
That's right.
It's ladies' night, all the girls drink for free.
Wow. All right. Joe, is that all the stories you got, baby? Buddy, pal?
Yeah.
Pal.
Baby.
Baby!
No, I'll find even more depressing things next week, probably.
I already asked this, didn't I? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's your job. Is you're always on the lookout for the things that will make us want a black pill and give up on pursuing any sort of better future. We love it. Thank you. We need it. Woo! Do you have things that can't be made up at least?
I do.
Oh.
Janus.
Let me see here.
Because we talked about how we feel about Biden. Whatever. Fuck it.
Big Hugh Janus.
Yeah, one sec. I gotta look at my notes. Oh, this is gonna be...
Joey Lumpen Fro.
I'm gonna have to go back to my computer because it's on my computer and I'm on my phone and...
What? Like the difference between Trump and Biden is like the kids will, instead of being housed in cages, they'll be housed in like cardboard boxes.
Some of them already are.
Turn on my computer.
Motherfucker, you said you were the one who said nothing would change.
Yeah, point. Like that thing's gonna change.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I just gotta figure out who's gonna do this.
It's very confusing for me. All like the liberals that I know, that like all like
who are these liberals?
My family, for example.
Okay.
They're all defensive anytime I start shitting on like the incoming Biden administration or the Democrats. Like, oh no, be positive. Like, why? Like everything still sucks.
Okay, sorry. Hi guys. Hi, it's Chava. How's it going?
Gotta stay positive.
Janus.
Oh, sometimes kind of the point where like if we wear a belt, if like Ellie's out, they like to wear this belt. We have like high-waisted jeans, and they take the belt off, and then it's like they're like releasing me as like some kind of demon. And I feel like like I almost throw up. I like walk around. I'm like, and then, no. But no, okay. All right. Got my notes.
Fun fact, the Kraken is my favorite mythical beast because it's real. So
Yeah.
far as I know, it's the only mythical beast that exists in real life.
Yeah.
Except for maybe unicorns, because there's like the narwhal, but that's actually a big tooth.
The Kraken actually exists?
Yeah, there's 2 species of giant squid.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, here's what I'm going to do. My computer doesn't want to open notes, so I'm just going to email this note to myself, and then I'll be right with you. So please make some music with your mouth to distract yourself whilst I do that.
Just like really weird, tacky hold music, like elevator hold music.
So keep the blood in your head.
What?
And keep your feet on the ground.
This isn't the elevator hold
Today's the
music I'm
day
used to.
it gets tired. Today's the day we drop down. I'm pretty sure he says today's the day we dropped out. But that doesn't...
What song is this?
Quiet things that no one ever knows. I'm just on a brand new kick
Oh!
now. Give up my body in bed.
I knew that. Okay.
All for an empty hotel. Wasting words on lowercases and capitals.
Just say we don't condone the actions of Mr. Guy from that band.
The guy from the thing and the place.
Yeah.
I was in a shitty mood until I started listening to fucking metal. Now I can't be stopped.
Okay, cool. Here's some stuff you can't make up. I got 2 things.
You can make this shit up with
Oh, okay. The first thing is this stuff is not really even that momentous. I just was at CVS and I kind of went into a trance like I do sometimes, and I just like start grabbing things that look. I just know that I need them for some reason. I didn't know why I needed this.
Do you pay for it or just leave?
Oh no! Yeah, I buy it. I buy it. No, yeah. So I was at the CVS in Magoon Square, where I live, and I saw some stuff that was like blue emu oil, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's made of, but I need that. And
it's
I had
the milk that Luke drinks on that island on Lost in Last
There
Jedi.
you fucking go. It comes from the giant titty thing. I don't remember
That's what happens when you milk an emu.
But it turns out that it's good for shit. Actually, I read the instructions, and I think it was for pain relief or something. But what I've been using it for is my wigs, because I had this beautiful thing happen where I was at the sex store in Medford, and there was like a model, a mannequin that had this great green, like sea green wig on it. I was like, that's for me. And I was like, hey, is this for sale? And she was like, oh man. And it was like I had said some magic words or something, and she was like, you know what? We had, there was some lady that used to work here, and she had, this was hers, her name was Ginger, and yeah, you can have it. And you know what? And she brought out this bag, and it had like 7 other wigs in it, and I took 5 of them. I was like, how much do you want? She was like, that's all for you, it's for you, we're not gonna charge you for it. But so one of these wigs was this beautiful sea green one, which Scott's on my Instagram. I think he's seen it. And I discovered that if I if I work through it with the blue emu oil, it kinda gives it a nice texture. So fuck your intended purpose, whatever company made that. It's for my wigs.
It's off label, baby.
So I was kind of hoping Kit would come on the podcast tonight, and I actually told them specifically that I had a special thing for them to do. They are not here, but I'm going to share this thing anyway. And anyway, it wouldn't have been like, I compel you to do this. It would have been like, I invite you to do this. And what it is that I found an article, and it is called, I'm sorry, I can't make my Discord. I got invited to like join a local organizing Discord, and somehow it fucked up my entire situation. Like I can't, every time I open Discord on my computer now, it tries to only show me that server, and I can't get back into all the other servers I had. So I can't put this article in the chat, unfortunately. So the headline is Why These Birds Carry Flames in Their Beaks. And there's a bird called the black kite, and it's very majestic. It's like
talking about birds.
The thing about this bird is that it spreads fire. It like there's a bunch of birds that do this, apparently. I think the black kite
It's a firebird.
is... Yeah, it's a firebird. It's a firebird. It's fucking legendary.
It's
Like,
real
that's
thing.
talking
Firebird.
about... That's another, like, mythological creature that's fucking real. So, what
Love
is it? Australia is no stranger to fire. And that's the thing I wanted... I was going to ask if Kit would read this, if they would Australianize their accent to the max and read this out loud. But I don't want to exploit
Crikey.
people. Yeah, no, I mean, whatever. I mean, it would have been a gift to me. I'm not gonna, like, force anyone to do that. But anyway, the main deal is that these birds, like, pick up sticks from wildfires. They pick up flaming sticks. They take burning sticks to new locations, and their beaks are talons. It's a collective group of birds that they call firehawks.
Crikey.
And the idea is that we apologize to any actual Australian people listening tonight.
I don't.
Scott does not. Scott is unrepentant. The idea is that these birds of prey use fires to help find food, making easy meals out of insects and other small animals trying to flee the blaze. So they are poning all of the other animals by fucking using fire like a people.
Crikey.
And yeah, what is it?
Gonna
Here's-
kill all the dingoes.
Here's, according to co-author Bob Gosford, oh my god, I'm gonna do it, aren't I? Black kites and brown falcons come to these fronts
Yes.
because it is literally just a killing frenzy. No, I can't do it.
It's the funnest accent to do in Butcher.
It's so hard to be faithful to it because if you're not careful, it just morphs immediately into generic, like, Commonwealth, English, British, Kiwi.
Exactly.
Now the Kiwi accent, that's hard to do. That's fucking hard.
Basically, is what it becomes.
If you can do Kiwi, like perfect Kiwi.
It's like it's got a higher pitch. It's more up here. It's more up here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's a
Sound
little
like
bit of
fucking
a,
Stewie
it's a
Griffin,
lift-
dude.
it's a little bit of a little bit of a lift. Yeah.
Okay,
It
what's
kind of-
happening here?
It
All
kind
right.
of ends in the. Sorry.
Pause. Shout out to Arsonist, Get All the Girls. Because for some reason, that's the only thing I can think of right now.
The other great thing is that somebody that they talked to in this article, his last name is Bonta. So Bonta. Bonta. I'm trying to figure out what his. Oh gosh, he just sort of appeared he's a ghost. I can't find the first mention of him in this article. That's super. Oh no, here we go. Mark Bonta. A National Geographic grantee and geographer at Penn State University. Okay, great. I'm actually going to click on his name because it is linked and they can't find it, so that's great because that means he's whoever I imagine he is. And yeah.
Why don't
Anyway.
you do you could just create like a little biographical right now. Who is
Mark Bonta?
Who is the man formerly known as Marcus Bonta from
When I found out that not every Mark was originally a Marcus, that blew my name. That blew my mind. Oh my god. Some guys are just named Mark. Strikes again. Well, anyway, Firehawks, y'all. That's another real thing that you can't make up. The world is a beautiful place. It's full of fire and birds.
Let's just set itself on fire.
Come on, baby. Light my fire.
I need a good like auto-tune plugin for Audacity.
Yeah. Why don't we have one? That would be good.
I don't know. Why don't we? Scott?
Why don't monkeys fly out my butt, Jesse?
I don't know.
My perfect, unique butt.
That's true.
Set and match.
Well, that's it. There's nothing left.
Yeah. As
We're
we
gonna
walk
do bad.
forward
That's how it all ends.
to horizon.
Wait, can we do bat signal? Are we doing bat
The
signal?
birds drop fire,
And geez.
and then monkeys fly up huge Venus's ass. The curtain drops.
Asses, you know,
Raucous applause.
Kamala's president.
it's over.
President baby.
Welcome to the new future.
Girl boss baby. Baby.
The grand conspiracy is that Kamala set off what happened on the 6th.
Baby.
That there'll be extra security tomorrow.
And then in all the confusion, there'll be a rush. And in all the confusion, they'll kill Biden. And Kamala is the girl boss president that we all deserve. And America's country will get a fucking whipping.
Whipping.
Yeah, we'll deserve it.
Ooh.
Did you have anything to say about that wild
This is a BDSM podcast now.
Oh, we're a culture podcast.
Jesse, have you ever seen those things that you can get for a lady, and it's like a bunch of chains, and you like there's like a ring in the center of the chest, and it like goes around your neck, and then there's like nipple clamps, but then there's also like
this is
it's like an octopus. There's like
it's like a harness.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, I saw one of those when I got my wigs at the sex store.
Why did you ask me specifically?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not just gonna be like, Joe, in your travels.
Joe, you ever try one of those?
Well, it was like Scott was talking about like ass whipping, and then you were like, Jesse.
Jesse.
Have you ever seen this?
Have you seen this? You heard about? Why are you muted, Joe? Doesn't want to participate. He doesn't want to admit
because Joe
he doesn't want to
secretly that's Joe's kink, and he doesn't want to talk about it.
I could have asked anybody, but I felt like you were the person who.
I didn't really have anything to contribute.
Oh, that's what you want us to think, Joe.
It's because I'm the medalist or whatever. What's the word for that?
I already am eating from the trash can all the time.
Ideology.
The name of this trash can is ideology.
Ish. We love him, folks.
Ish. He's my favorite. I love him. I secretly love him. And not so secretly love him. He's amazing.
What is this? He's just playing Animal Farm or whatever.
I will play Animal Crossing on my phone or whatever.
Animal Farm speaks volumes of society.
Society.
Wasn't he on Jacobin last week basically doing that?
We're talking about Animal Farm? Or
Žižek was on like doing something like that like last weekend, I think.
Where are the Marxists?
Talking about Farmville. Žižek thinks Farmville is a capital.
I loved the way that he fucking looked when he showed up to that debate. It was like he rolled off of a portable cot.
Yeah, he's always ready.
Whatever he had been wearing for like 2 days.
Does like a ninja pose in front of the mirror? Like,
ready for action. Yeah.
To debate, Mr. Peterson.
1, 2, punch the air.
He like takes his head and he goes. He like warms.
Basically, it's the scene in Raging Bull. It's later than redone in Boogie Nights where he's in the mirror. He's looking in the mirror. He's talking in the mirror. And he just gets up. He kicks at the mirror. Does like punches. And he's like, I still got it.
I have still got it.
I mean,
takes out his giant dick. I'm just kidding.
I'm not gay, but I would fuck Žižek.
Right?
No questions asked.
Absolutely. All parts of me, even the parts that are not attracted to men, would completely go on that. Go right down. Go right all around. In and out. Take me. Slap me. I'm really... now I got that off my chest. I feel better.
God damn, this...
Very nice.
We used to be like, did we at some point, we must have been a more principled podcast. I remember like when I didn't say anything except I would interject with like a Lenin quote or something.
Really?
We were, and then I was like on hiatus for 2 weeks.
And then we let the wheels off, we let our hair down, and now we're walking into the new horizon of annihilation under the Biden administration.
Resistance is futile.
Resistance.
All right, he wants some fucking movies to watch this week, you fucks.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, Scott.
Baby. All right.
I mean, I'm just going to try to spend the rest of the week sleeping, but yeah, sure.
Sheltering and just preparing for the coming apocalypse the Democrats will bring upon America.
Dude, I'm going to a fucking demo tomorrow.
I mean, I'm going to that one too.
You know, the funny thing is that, like, if and when they do precipitate the apocalypse, it will probably be by accident.
Baby. They'll say baby when they do it, too.
I just want to see Chuck Schumer do that.
You want to live to watch the apocalypse?
No, the world's gonna end.
No, I just want to be like watching like Schumer to be like, "We're fucked over everyone."
I wonder what the Baileys would say about that, baby. Oy vey.
I don't want that to happen. The AIs eventually take over.
I
don't want to be there.
And you're a fan of this show for whatever reason, and the Baileys tell you to genocide us.
Yeah, don't do that shit.
Don't do that.
I don't want that.
Also, if the Baileys are telling you things, please seek psychiatric assistance.
Nah, psychiatrists.
Psychiatrists.
Yeah.
Nah, kids, psychiatrists.
We got not psychiatrists, and then yeah.
Actually, this gives me a chance to
Recommend some films, some
But
viewings.
now I want to hear the rest of that.
Yeah, I
talk,
know,
not
the anticipation.
psychiatrists.
What?
You got cut off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's that fucking push to talk. I gotta fix that. No, I just said psychiatrists. Psychiatrists are just gonna be like, "Here's what's wrong with you. Take these pills. Also, go. They'll just lock you up. So just call us. The police are talking to you."
Yeah.
So if Chuck Schumer says that to a psychiatrist, mission fucking accomplished.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Mine honestly just wants to spend most of the time trying to understand what's going on in the world.
Got a cool psychiatrist, Joe.
Yeah, he's very chill.
Oh, I
Chill.
remember what I was gonna say.
My psychiatrist
Hell yeah.
is from the Soviet Union, and he like almost. I'm
Oh, wow.
serious. I'm serious, and he almost fucking cries every time. Well, he's not my direct psychiatrist. He supervises my psychiatrist, but like since I always have a different psychiatrist every year, he's been at the clinic since I started going there. So I talk to him at the end of every session, and like he gets very nostalgic about the Soviet Union. And I know because it looks like he's actually going to cry. And he's like, "Oh, you know what I'm going to say. I love your mask. I love your shirt." Whatever the fuck, because I'm always wearing something, you know?
So
He's
cute.
got a left-wing melancholy.
It's dope. It's just dope.
That's cool, though.
But anyway,
All right. Well, we mentioned Vincent Cassel, so I was going to recommend another Vincent Cassel movie.
Comrade Scott tells you what to watch.
Is it a dangerous method?
No, I haven't seen that yet. That's
It's a great
that's
movie.
like the one Cronenberg movie I haven't seen. Is it good?
It is good.
Like I've literally seen all of his other movies. Oh, I haven't seen M. Butterfly. I haven't seen that or Dangerous Method. But I've seen like his student films. I've seen everything, like all of his shorts. It's
The
like
plot
the only
thickens.
Cronenberg I have. What does that mean? There's just two movies I haven't seen. One's based on a fucking
No, 'cause
play
you're like-
from the
you
8th,
said-
from the 17th,
you said
from the
multiple-
19th century. Excuse me. And one is fucking just a movie that like
excuse
barely
me.
came out 2 years
Excuse
ago.
me.
No, it's because you said multiple times, "Oh, that's the only one I haven't seen." And you're like, "Oh, actually, I haven't seen this other one."
Because I
either."
forget about M. Butterfly because like no one fucking remembers. The movie is Eastern Promises. Who fucking cares? Christ. This recommendation just came out like a limp erection. Anyway. Eastern Promises.
A limp erection, really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Limbo
It-
erection.
I admire your courage to just whip it out like that.
Yeah, I hear.
Not everyone has the
Yeah.
chutzpah.
Many men would spend time prepping beforehand. But
You're honest. It's honesty is hot. That's why we would all sleep with Žižek.
it's true.
In that little bit.
Yep, in his cute little bed with his cute little orange.
Fucking Stalin
little
poster.
bust of Stalin.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry,
a great.
Scott.
If you haven't seen the Žižek movies, his guide to cinema and his guide to ideology, or the Pervert's Guide
Oh, I want
to
to see
cinema
that.
and the Pervert's Guide to Ideology, they're both very
That
good.
sounds
I'll
really
recommend those too. But we
good.
also mentioned Australia, so we should watch Fury Road. It's very good. No, nobody's seen Fury Road. Wow.
I saw it. I need to see it
Damn.
again because I didn't appreciate it fully the first time. But it was really good. Yeah.
Fucking great. It's like
It's
the
very
best action movie of the past.
You guys, I just ate like an entire pizza. I feel like
Just
shit.
ate like a whole fucking pizza. That boy needs to work it out.
Work it out.
I lied. I don't feel like shit yet, but I'm gonna be so dehydrated in like 45 minutes.
My old
Well, at least
roommate
you know
used
in
to do that.
advance.
He understands his body, Joe.
Not all of us can say that.
It's one of those things that I've done it like enough times to be. I can predict
He has
it.
the timing
Yeah,
down
yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah, my
I mean,
old roommates
hello,
used
I'm
to
a
do
fucking
that.
addict. Like I know when it's gonna suck, and I'm gonna do it anyway. But
Yeah.
Oh, in 54 minutes, I'm going to be miserable, but I don't care.
I always like one of the
Fact.
people I've had the most respect for in this world would be like it was like lactose intolerant, but she loved cheese so much that she would just eat cheese anyway, even though she knew what was going to happen. And I was like, God damn,
I sometimes ponder what would happen
Role
if I was
model.
lactose intolerant.
I'd be very sad.
I would too. I love dairy.
Yeah, I just discovered last night that if I mix fresh mozzarella with red peppers, caraway seeds, and basil, it tastes like Armenian string cheese. And now I will
Wow.
never be sad again.
oh, the best string cheese I ever had was from this fucking. It was this farmer named Neil, and he had the thickest Wisconsin accent I've heard in my entire life.
Oh, that sounds legit.
Hell
And
yeah.
his family took care of the Horizon cows, which is like actually a good organic milk brand.
Oh,
And and his family packaged some, I guess, homemade string cheese from the farm, and I ate it in rehab. It was delicious.
Horizon Cows sounds kind of like, like some kind of threshold guardian, like just keep going, son, until you find the Horizon Cows, and they will tell you what to do.
The heifers.
There's you ever seen the
Sounds like
Oreo
fucking
cows? There's this kind of cow. They have a bunch of them out in Groton, Mass. That are like an Oreo sandwich, but if you turned it on its side and like thickened it, and it became a cow. It's like they're
So
like
it's like
black,
all
with a
black.
white-
Okay.
with a white stripe, around the middle.
Oh, I
Oreo
see this
cows.
boy.
Yeah, they're good cows.
They're
Like-
good cows. What?
They
They're like
The white
Yes.
striped cow.
they could be bad cows. I don't know. They look
Seven
nice.
Nation cow.
Well, just let me know when you're ready for a bedtime story, because I found the shit that I had written down.
What?
For bad signal.
I just all want us to
Oh.
appreciate this cow. Just appreciate this cow, first of all.
What?
He's in the
Yes!
Joe. So for some reason, shit's going in the Joe chat. I don't know why. It should be going in the show notes, but that's fine.
I'll
Love
just
it.
put something in the show notes so that you guys click on it.
Oh, our Discord server. We love it. Yeah, fine. You want to do a bat signal?
I will do.
Can you have a little bat signal? Is it long?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, just make a snoring sound if you get tired of it, and I'll stop.
No, it's fine. No, actually, if you do that, I'm just gonna get a bite to eat. So
Yeah, that's fine. The twist is that I'm sort of gonna go in like a chain. So the person I want to talk about this week is actually.
You can hear the rest on Patreon.
all right, my name is Scott. You can find me in the club, Bottle Full of Bob.
Scott's in the same club. That's okay.
I used to think
On
that
Twitter at Death Mullet, on Instagram at SweatyWife, on SoundCloud and Bandcamp at SweatyWife. Joseph Goseph.
Who the fuck calls me that anymore? Jeez.
I do.
this lumpen,
Who are you, my dad?
lumpen proletariat.
Yeah. You lumpin' proletariat, go.
I'm Joe.
Roll.
I can't take Scott's username seriously. You can find me on the internet.
We already kind of discussed his username earlier, so.
It's at JLifting16.
Joe, what are you doing? Moving a desk?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was
it's
silent for a while. I actually cried. I don't know how that happened.
It's an emotional song, man.
I've never seen the video for it, but for some reason the combination was intense.
That's awesome. I had a period of my life where I didn't cry for a long time, and then I cried again, and it was amazing. That means you let something go, and it's never coming back. Like something shitty that you needed to let it out. You did what the video said, so good job.
Yeah, I guess so.
We love you, buddy.
I love you guys too.
And where can we find Ellie? Or, well, Janice. Not Janice.
Huge
You can-
Janus?
You could say Janus, but it must be preceded with you. Yeah, no, I'm Janice. I have many names. I'm like
Oh,
Gandalf.
you are Janice.
Yeah.
It
Janice
sounds like,
is-
no, it just sounds like a secretary's name, like Janice.
Janice, yeah, no, actually, I had a photography
Janice from
professor. Yeah, I had
Precisely.
a boomer photography professor in undergrad who was my advisor, and she was a hard ass, and she was the first Janice that I ever knew, and she has impacted me greatly. But yes, Janice, like the god of doorways, liminal spaces, boundaries, and whatever. You can find me
Liminal
on
spaces.
in this liminal space. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I'm all about, y'all. I'm all about that multiplicity, all about that being multiple people. Yeah, I should qualify right now. I'm Chava. That's who is speaking. Ellie was speaking earlier. Don't find me. Find me here. I'm being like very, very, very emotionally intimate with you here, the listener. So
Yeah.
be content with that and do not try to find my form on
Unless you're
the-
Žižek, and then you let
Yeah,
in.
no. If you're Žižek, you have you have a
Backstage pass.
golden ticket right up the scooch, I guess you could say.
Whoa.
That's where we're at right now.
I thought you said gooch for a second.
That's what I said.
They did.
Oh. Gooch?
Let me slutty.
Like Grundle?
Oh, good God.
No, they're
The
different.
gooch.
We've extended it to high school English. Oh boy.
Did you
In
talk
high
about this
school
stuff in high
English.
school English?
Honestly, the first
Grundle's
time,
a
What
reference to
definition of
Beowulf?
gooch?
the first and only time I ever heard gooch, like
No, it's because Jesse said Grundle, which is a reference to Beowulf.
Grendel,
Grendel.
not Grendel.
Oh, I heard it wrong. Close enough.
oh fuck.
Oh my
The
God!
Grundle.
Yes!
Run, bitch. Hell yeah.
Close enough. I don't care.
Thank you, Joe.
The use of things that I retain in my memory. You're welcome.
I don't think Jesse's going to be able to stop talking, so I'll just introduce him for
You
you.
went through American English, you know Beowulf.
You're welcome.
The feared Grundle.
That's Jesse. You can find him at soundcloud.com/contingence. Is Contingence Boston? I don't remember.
SoundCloud.com/Contingence Boston. Hit up Comrade-Rosie.org.
Yes.
Click getting involved, donate time or money to one or more mutual aid groups. We actually have enough money now so that our wait list is like reasonable, and I'm very happy about that. And I'm
Yay.
very proud that I was like, I don't want to say a significant portion, but you know, I contributed a decent amount to it, and it feels good to be able to do service for my community
Yes.
for the hell of it.
As Ramdas always said, feed everyone, serve people.
That's the whole quote.
No, it's like love everyone, serve everyone, feed people, remember God. I don't know. He was a cool guy. He was very formative for me.
Grundle here.
Are you like a pirate? Are
Not
you...
Grendel, that's the other guy. I'm Grundle.
Oh my God.
Grundle, Dave Rubin, you guys.
I'll recover. I got it.
Don't worry, I'll say something insane like in 2 minutes that will make him like cry again.
Okay.
In my dance troupe, we always used to say dead puppies to make ourselves stop corpsing.
That was actually the last time I cried, was when I couldn't give Squirrel her medicine, and that was what I was afraid of. I was afraid I was going to stay infected and she was going to die.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. That just takes the wind right out of the sails, but...
Okay.
But on a socialister note, for patrons, you guys will soon be hearing, hopefully, On Practice by Mao.
Mao.
I'm going to try and get that out before I do some... I'm either going to do On Contradiction after that, because it's like definitely a 1-2 punch. Although I've said this many times, I feel like On Contradiction was kind of Mao's... Like, it was like he gave himself more than enough rope to hang himself with.
I do have one last thing to really take the wind out of the sails.
What, something about Mao?
No, that the Joe Biden administration has said, the incoming administration says they're going to recognize Juan Guaido as the legitimate ruler of Venezuela.
Of course.
Mao. Let's become Maoist and kill the bourgeois class.
Is that like tomorrow, Scott?
I might not even parody, for real. I endorse this. Let's do that.
Let's do it the passive way, the Phil Collins passive way, which is if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face.
But let's do it the active Peter Gabriel way also.
But I don't know if you know who I am. Let's let them get corona and not give them the vaccine that we have in our houses, which we don't, but same outcome.
Strawberry Hill lined with bodies.
Salisbury.
Salisbury Hill, sorry.
Yeah, and then there's an eagle. We'll get on the eagle that flies out of the night, and none of the bourgeoisie.
Take a sledgehammer to the bourgeoisie.
Why is there an eagle?
Fuck, these are Peter Gabriel songs.
I'm going to drop some very heavy parody on everybody. There's going to be like 500 cops at the Capitol, and it would be a shame if something bad happened to those
Climbing up the
piggies.
Capitol walls, do. Gonna kill them all, do.
Flex rhythm, or else
My
it's not
penis might-
happening. My revolution
Very-
will be in 916.
Very subtle.
Peter
So
Gabriel,
hopefully,
what?
hopefully we will have on practice and on contradiction. It'll be in the main feed in February, at the end of February. As of right now, the Valentine's Day present for the main feed is, I mean, it's not really a secret, but it is almost like an
It's like
hour.
cute faces.
So you're welcome. Yeah. Mwah, mwah. Love you.
Oh,
Okay.
love it. Don't forget to feed Grundle. Yeah. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram at Epic Incredulity. But like he said, we're on Patreon. Go to the Patreon. It's $3 to get our content, but we like to unlock it pretty soon thereafter because we're nice people. Whatever. Just share it with everybody. Let it be out there. We love you.
Shout out to the
Shout
new
out.
homie.
Yeah, we probably won't want to.
Yeah.
Unless they have a difficult name to.
Yeah.
But thank you. We appreciate it. We love you.
Yeah. We love you.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we knew you better, we'd love you still.
He, him. We'll get to know you soon.
Is that the guy with the cool ass username that I commented on immediately?
Correct.
Yeah.
And he has the cool icon of the, yeah.
I won't say his name, but I will say that he knows what Tikkun Olam is, which means healing of the world, and that's what we are striving to do here.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Heal the world.
Baby.
Perfect
We
butthole
are-
of Grundle. The perfect butthole of Grundle. Huge Janus. All right. That's your epoch.
Very, very good place.
Yes.
Nice.
It ends in the huge anus of.
Literally almost just choked him out spitting.
You know what I might do
But
for the end of this one? I might put in the mashup. What is the Bombers on the Horizon?
yeah. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.